Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to The Binding of Isaac Chest Boy with me, your host, The Steel Gamer. So today I'm actually doing something slightly different than normal. I'm actually doing a post-commentary. I recorded this episode last night when I couldn't exactly speak, but I knew I could at least play the game. And so, yeah. So I've got Judas here, because, I really wanted to do a high damage run. And yeah, so I just shoot the fire for a little bit. I didn't want to go in the curse room just yet, just in case I didn't get spirit hearts in there, because, it's not always a guaranteed thing. We got a pink widow, fairly easy to deal with. There's some slight lag, but, it's not terrible, and I fix it in a little bit, but, it's altogether fairly good. Pink Widow trying to cause trouble, but I killed him fairly quickly, and then the red nub already gone. Thankfully, we get an HP upgrade, which makes me go straight to the curse room. And what we find in there is just a red chest that has Guppy's tail, which is really cool. And it also told me where the secret room is. But I wanted to find the item room first before I started wasting bombs. So this guy kind of avoiding shots, and then I didn't really want to pick up a full heart just yet, just in case I needed it for whatever reason. We got mini mush, speed and range. That's pretty good for me. I always like pretty much max speed when I play as Isaac, just because I never really have trouble dodging. With max speed, like I never dodge into other things, but I always feel like I should be moving faster. And, and just in case we get something like lard or something later, it's always good to have high speed, in my opinion. Because, for me, it never really hurts to have very fast speed. Unfortunately, we got Curse of the Lost here, as we move on to the next floor, and we crack open this chest. Get a bomb, but I was careful not to pick up the spirit heart, just in case. And we got one of those nasty shaking heads that bleed out of their eyes, which is really scary to think about. And a couple pooters. I took care of the pooter fairly quickly, and I tried to, toss some shots in there, but it doesn't work out the first couple times, and then I just kind of fire one directly in. We get another chest, thankfully with a key, so I can crack open this item room and get 10 more bombs. Which ended up serving me fairly well, at least for this floor. We have one of these annoying little quadra shot meat guys. I want to say like Loki horn shot, which I guess is true enough. We do get quite a bit of money in these first couple floors as we move along. There's a golden chest that I'm not terribly sure about opening, but I ended up doing it anyway, and I get the lovers, which is kind of a useless card, at least in my current situation. And we found the boss already, so we pop in there. It's Larry Jr. I had just fought Larry Jr. in a previously botched run, just before this, with pretty much the same stats, so I knew how to deal with him at this point. I mean, I'd sort of like pre-trained. It's always like the first time you fight Larry Jr. in a while, you kind of like run into him stupidly. And yeah, so that was kind of annoying. Not really sure why I avoided Mom's lipstick, but I did anyway. And we do have Whore of Babylon and Dead Cat. I pick up the Dead Cat because, now I'm almost a guppy, which is really neat. So we move on. Going to the next room, trying to find if there's anything else on the floor. I think about, looking for secret rooms, and, so that I can go to the shop, hopefully. We do find Wrath, which I'm kind of thinking as I fight him, why now that I just got Boom? Which is, it's kind of silly, but it's not necessary. He's being really good at dodging his own bombs. Until like pretty much just right now in the fight. It's the shop for some reason. We pick up Mr. Boom, and oh yeah, and then we take him to try and find a secret room. And unfortunately, it's not there. So I go and I pick up the Book of Belial, and we move on. Yeah, at this point I was kind of getting discouraged about fighting the rest of the floor, but you know, at least I could recharge the Book of Belial. And of course we found this tinted rock, so now I'm for sure gonna blow it up. Kill those nasty worm things. Crack it open. Of course it's another golden chest. In this room I'm thinking, there's a lot of dudes in here. Rather be safe than sorry. So I popped the Book of Belial, and of course they all die in 2 hits, but you know, like I said, better to be safe than sorry. I only have 1 heart container, and I'm going to start burning out all my 9 lives, especially since I already lost 1 of them. Those guys kind of scared me at first, so I sort of killed one and then said screw it. Killed the other one, and then I went back and I was like, alright, you're done. You're done, son. And what do you know, in this red chest we get Guppy's Paw. I freak out at this point. I'm like, oh my gosh, 2nd floor Guppy. Which is still, it's totally crazy. I mean, those red chests never pay out, it feels like. Especially when they're, I almost feel like they don't pay out in the curse room. Or, they don't pay out, like, outside of the curse room very often. So I got really lucky. I pick up the red patch. I'm kind of like, oh, what a stupid waste of a key. And then I'm like, oh man, I hope I get another key for the shop, because I just burned it on just a stupid trinket. But, of course, we get one right here. Get one right here. We fight these little gishes, which are kind of neat, but easily destroyed from my blue flies. Mr. Blue Flies. Crack open the shop. It's just a Steam sale. I don't really care about trying to figure out if it's worth it, so I just kind of don't worry about it. I attempt to look for the secret room a few times. Actually, first, I try to figure out whether or not the Book of Belial or Guppy's Paw would be better in the long run. Kind of circle around. I'm not too sure. You know, Book of Belial's good, and Guppy's Paw is really good with 9 lives, because that means you basically triple your health every time you die, instead of, oh, you know, oh, now we've gotten stuck in this infinite cycle of death. I'm just gonna keep dying and dying and dying. Well, no, now you got 3 times that, but instead I go with the Book of Belial, and then realize I could go check for the secret room, which I do, and of course it's not in there. And so then I just start bombing all these rooms. And of course, no luck so far. I'm really starting to worry about it. Now I'm really starting to worry. I do pick up the Spirit Heart, which is making me feel fairly confident about the health situation at that point. And of course we finally find the secret room, literally the last spot. We did get enough money to buy the Steam sale, but then, you know, like I said earlier, I didn't really care to pick it up. And, you know, I'm kind of glad I didn't, as you'll see later. And down to the next floor. Sort of spam the spacebar, and we get Curse of the Labyrinth. Which, you know, at this point I don't really care. It's kind of cool, but it's not, like, irritating. Yeah, so we kill all these jerks. Get some bombs. And yeah, we got these nasty globins. The blue flies are so helpful when you fight these. It's unbelievable. It just makes it go by so quickly. Luckily I pick up a key, which is good. And then at this point I'm like, alright, my game is lagging a lot, which it really isn't in the video now that I'm watching it, but it was lagging a lot in game, and it made me feel really bad. So I actually set it back to medium because I hate low quality because it doesn't look good. And then at that point I just sort of I actually stopped the video. As you can see, my mouse goes up to the top, and right there I restarted it again, and this is a whole new video that I started recording. And yeah, and so I've got, you know, this is running a lot better because it's actually in medium frame size, as you can see in the pause menu before. before I restarted. And it's running a lot smoother for me, which hopefully shows in the video eventually. Yeah, we got these nasty glow bins. Samson's lock is slightly better than the red patch, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like Samson's lock because they don't like rage, but I think it's pretty good. You know, every little bit helps. Crack open a tinted rock, which is great. 2 spirit hearts is incredible. You know, thinking back on this run, I wish I had waited before I pick up any extraneous spirit hearts until I found it necessary. Somehow that guy shot backwards. I'm pretty sure he was not facing my direction when that shot was fired. Hashtag shots fired in LSS. Red Handy Gamer. Yeah, we cleared out that room pretty quickly. I'm kind of getting discouraged about the lack of item rooms. And, you know, that's like our 3rd Spidey room in a row, or whatever you call them, Spitties. Spitters. I think they're called Spitters. Something like that. And there's number 4. Sorry if that was slightly delayed, but, you know, whatever. We do just pick up just straight up a dime, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, GG technology. This is gonna be good. I love technology. It's like my 2nd favorite item in the game. Number 1 being the common cold. And of course, at this point, we get just slaughter all the flies. And of course, along with that, we also make lots of our own flies, so it's just insane amounts of damage. And I just get all giddy at this point. It's gonna be really good. You know, of course it does, otherwise you wouldn't be watching. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. I saw the bloody penny and I'm like, nah, no. I'm running on spirit hearts, so it's not really necessary. Luckily, we do get another tinted rock here, which I'm hoping will have the small rock, because I could really use some damage. But of course, it's not. Just spirit hearts, which are, you know, spirit hearts are cool. Nothing wrong with spirit hearts. I do YOLO and pick up that since I had gotten 3 keys at that point. And of course, it pays out with a key. And then at this point, I'm like, yeah, I guess I should fight the boss. Because I got the Book of Belial charged, and I'm like, alright, first boss, if it's hard, I'll use it. If not, no. And of course, it's just Chad, so that's pretty easy. I prefer to fight Chub instead of Chad, because he doesn't get smaller, and he also doesn't make those annoying larger shot flies, which are irritating. Alright, so we got Pestilence here. I actually didn't pick up Little Chad because, you know, I'm not a really big fan of Little Chad anyway, and he can cause real trouble later. When you're running full spirit hearts especially, it's kind of irritating to have that. And also, you know, if you pick up like 1 heart container but then keep like the Polaroid state going, all it takes is 1 bump and you get that. So I see Brimstone and I'm like, yeah, that would be cool, but I already have technology and I don't really care to do any sort of Brimstone nonsense. But I did pick up the Mark because damage up is always fun, and then of course I tested out my tiers to see how cool they looked, because they're cool. Unfortunately, that put me down at 1 spirit heart, so like I was saying earlier, I'd wished that I hadn't spent them all, picked all of those previous ones up, you know, unless necessary. And we pick up another dime on this floor, which is insane. We do find another tinted rock, which is really cool. I do pop open that chest, and of course it's just Tammy's head. Probably the most useless, yet most common golden chest item. Other than, like, I guess the wooden spoon. No, I feel like Tammy's head happens more often. So we get Wiggle Worm here, which I didn't even know does that with the laser, which I was like, wow, that is really cool. I thought it was going to be kind of dumb. But then, you know, as I thought about it more, I was like, yeah, it'll be alright, I guess. I think Cube of Meat just literally saved me, or the tier had just fallen at the exact moment for that shot to hit me. We do pick up a Justice card, and we get, you know, Bomb Key, Half Heart, and a coin. And then I sort of decide, you know what, I don't really need to be in here anymore. I don't need to explore that middle room. It's not going to have anything useful for me. So we are doing insane amounts of damage right now with the Mark, and Rage is proccing a little bit with Samson's Lock, which is really cool. I do go into this boss trap because why not? And it's shot speed up, which I kind of like. I don't really want shot speed up. No thanks. Pop open the shop, and of course it's greed. But I don't even proc the Book of Belial because it's just he dies so quickly. We get our key back, luckily, and a couple more cents. And we keep moving on. And I decided, you know what, why not? At least it won't show up in another boss fight later on. And I think it actually makes the shot wiggle faster, like switch between the two wiggles that you can kind of see. But yeah, don't quote me on that, because I'm not actually terribly sure. But it does somehow seem that I have a higher shot rate, fire rate. I did pick up the HP upgrade because I was just kind of like, well, we have negative right now because of that deal with the devil, so I guess it doesn't really matter. At this point, I do say, you know what, I'm so powerful, nothing can stop me, why not just fight this room? And of course I kill them without even, like, they didn't even pop up, which is cool. I wish I could play that Demon Judgment, but unfortunately I don't have any red hearts with which to do so, which makes me sad. I do check very many times to try and find the secret room. Luckily, I found it before too much hassle, and then I considered staying at 69 cents because that's the greatest number of money that we could possibly have. But of course, I pick it up because, you know, just in case we get money equals power or something, which would make us absolutely insane for damage. You know, just like the last run that we had. With money equals power, which is really neat. I think we were also Guppy then as well. I get Guppy a lot, I guess. Anyway, we kill those green guys really quickly. This double spider room is fairly easy to deal with, but you'll see later I start having trouble figuring out their movements. I don't really think that the golden chest is worth picking up for fighting all those people if it's, you know, it doesn't really have like a high chance of paying out with anything either. Rage is, Samson's Luck is doing a lot more for me than I would have thought, which I'm thankful for, and we do pick up the Celtic Cross here, which is, you know, it's neat. Something to help, at least along the way, which is really cool. Yeah, so we're moving on. Trying to explore. We found our first, or the only item room on this floor, I guess. Crack open the red chest. Of course, we don't get monkeys. Somehow those blue spikes did not want to chase after me, which is really neat and lucky, I guess. And of course, we get another troll bomb. I thought for sure that one would hit me, but I guess I had gotten in like the perfect spot to not have it hit me. Yeah. So moving on, we do have Lust here, which dies like instantly, and we do get Poison Touch, which is really neat. Yeah, and then I decide, you know what, I really don't want to open up that golden chest, just in case we do get a decent shot that I can use. Celtic Cross actually procced there, as opposed to like the Polaroid, because I don't have the Polaroid yet. Yeah, so those spiders start causing me trouble, but then I sort of realize like they're not that hard to deal with. I mean, especially for that room, because I have the gaps to fly over. These green dove guys are kind of irritating at the same time. And then I get down to 1/2 Spirit Hunt, I'm like, oh, that's not good. Because I really did not want to start dealing with, you know, the 9 lives nonsense. So I pick up the compass, and basically clean out the shop. I use everything in there. A useless pill, buy the key, and I buy the Spirit Heart, thankfully. And then I go straight into the curse room, where of course there's a troll bomb and 2 more troll bombs, which makes me sad, but you know, at least I didn't lose a full heart. One of my blue flies sacrificed itself, unfortunately. We make our way towards the boss. We're having another one of these irritating spider rooms, but I've finally figured out my flaws with it, and I do a little bit better. I think with Wiggle Worm in technology, it actually kind of pulses like an actual wave through it. I may be wrong about that, but I think it's moving so fast, possibly due to the shot speed up or maybe something else. but it seems like it does the waves like carry through the laser, as opposed to just like randomly picking the placement of the laser, like it's some sort of seems like. I try to say somewhat tries, but it doesn't really make any sense. Loki starts to cause trouble after the first part of the fight, where he was super easy to kill. We get 4 different pills, one of them, which we know already is puberty. Crack open a tinted rock, and of course I still don't get the small rock, which makes me very sad. We get a friends till the end pill, which is literally useless. Bad gas, also useless. And finally, our savior, balls of steel, which is really, really cool. I don't try very hard to check for the secret room at this point, because I don't really need it. It's not really going to benefit me a whole lot. But we do find it fairly quickly, so that's good. 3 more cents is not exactly worth it, but you know, money equals power. It could be, I guess. I do crack open this chest because, you know, why not? And we do get a judgment card, which I then start to feel very good about. And I'm thinking about, you know, at this point I'm thinking about what kind of spots I could proc him in. And unfortunately we didn't get a deal with the devil on that last floor, so we couldn't like run in there and proc it. I mean, you know, we picked him up after the boss fight anyway, but I mean, still, it could have like stayed around. Who knows? Which, you know, that kind of upset me, but it was all right. Yeah, we do kill this room fairly quickly. Pick up a bomb. Book Belial's charged. See another chest room, and I don't really care to deal with it. And then I'm like, well, I could find my way to the boss, but it's not entirely necessary. I don't really want to leave the floor just yet and fight Mom, because I don't really have a guaranteed way of getting out. And I want to find a good place to proc the judgment. I do decide to go to the shop before I go to the I mean, not the shop. I decided to go to the item room before I go to the shop, because, you know, that's a guaranteed item as opposed to, you know, potentially fighting greed. We do get 5 homing bombs, which are cool, and I literally never use bombs for the rest of the whole run, which is like pretty silly now that I think back, because I probably completely forgot that I had bombs that homed, which is, like I said, pretty silly. I play this fortune teller machine quite a bit in hopes of it paying out with something good. It doesn't really do a whole lot though, and then I just sort of get annoyed, and then it pays out with 2 clubs. I pop it, and then I just kind of wait a little more, and I started to get discouraged. I'm like, alright, I'm either gonna edit the video now, or like just not do it. And then I just decided, you know what, I don't really want to deal with all these tarot cards anymore. Just pick up my judgment card and get out. I was hoping I could get more keys from that, but you know, the shop isn't gonna be like, isn't a guaranteed good thing anyway, so that's kind of silly. We did find the secret room, and then another fortune teller, of course, which I start to play a couple times and then quickly realize that I don't like fortunes and I wish I had the luck foot. And then I pop judgment thinking that he could pay out with a secret room item. And so I play both of them at the same time. And of course the minimum the judgment, or the maximum you have to pay for judgment to pay out is 4 cents. And of course he paid out with the rotten milk, which is not what I expected. I was hoping, clearly I was hoping for like an epic fetus or something. But we did get a spirit heart from that fortune teller machine, and then that's when I was like, alright, that's enough for now, please. And so, yeah, I head on down to the boss. I'm like, alright, you know what, I don't really care at this point. Shop's probably not going to be any good. Fight these chub masters. Pop open the chest. Of course it's another troll bomb. And yeah, we go fight Mom. I almost forget to pop that book a while and then quickly realize my mistake. And yeah, Mom's fairly easy at this point. I almost took damage there, but thankfully the cube of meat saved me. Yeah, we are crushing her with my crazy damage from the Book of Belial. Pageant Boy makes me a little upset, but you know, it's nothing worth getting mad about, besides that the HP, I mean, I could have gotten like an HP up or something, but, you know, it's nothing to fret about, really. The womb goes pretty easily, at least at this point, you know. I'm doing fairly well, I'm not taking silly damage against silly things. These Diglets are fairly easy to deal with, especially with our crazy high, you know, fire rate and damage. I'm not terribly sure when I got the high fire rate, but I guess it's from just technology just has a high fire rate. Maybe it's a damage down and a fire rate up, but it always seems like whenever you pick it up, it's like really fast. Maybe it's just because that's how fast your tears fire. I'm not sure. I just think it's really cool. I love technology. It's like I said earlier, it's like my second favorite item game. Number one being the Common Cold, as I think I might have said earlier, but I forget sometimes. Pop the Book of Belial on death. He dies fairly quickly. The horse is getting there. The blue flies can't quite catch him. I try and hunt him down, and of course I get him just there. Pick up our level 2 meat boy, and in the devil room, we don't really have anything. Forget me now. Not worth sacrificing all my health for. Guppy's head is not as good as the Book of Belial in my opinion, plus I'm already Guppy, so I don't really need it to get me anywhere. Yeah, and then I head over to the curse room in hopes of maybe getting a deal with the devil, I guess. You know, laser on laser, I win that fight any day. That bomb fly really frightens me, but thanks to the infinite range of technology, I don't have to worry about it. I go in here, it doesn't pay out at first, and I'm like, well, that stinks, but you know, then I basically break even at that point with the damage taken in the Spirit Heart. And then I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna go back. No sense in sacrificing the rest of my health on this floor for silly things. Oh yeah, I do remember to sort of check for the secret room, but I don't really care enough to try. Oh yeah, I remember this. I kick my bomb, the blue flies kick my bomb into me, and then I decide that, you know, potentially there's this, a tinted rock there, so I threw a bomb there. And then finally I got it to not, like, get thrown into my face. Of course there's only 9 cents, and I shoot the fire and get a 10th one, and then remove myself from the room in hopes of getting something decent at this point. I played that just sort of on accident, half a heart, and I'm like, yeah, great, thanks. And then I head on to the boss room, and down to the next floor. Luckily, there's no nasty curses on this floor, which is a good thing, because that could have been really bad, especially if it was like Utero. And of course, after getting so lucky on literally the second floor with having, you know, Guppy's paw appear, the red chests that appear in the room are not nearly as good as they had been. Pick up a bomb and ascent, move on. There's a judgment there. I play him a little bit in hopes of getting something good. He pays out with a Spirit Heart, which I'm really happy about at this point. Basically makes me break even from the previous floor. Yeah, so we keep paying him money, and of course he pays out with an HP upgrade, and then I'm like, no, why did I take that? Because I was so used to like trying to make myself not negative hearts with the deal with the devil, but even then, like, I shouldn't have trained myself to start taking them, because it's just silly. But, you know, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I can just pay it out at the arcade, and then I'm like, OMG, the pentagram. And so we just destroy Loki instantly, just not nearly as hard as it was earlier. Monster 2 is like, yeah, no big deal. You like blue flies? You like blue flies in your mouth? A blue fly. Yeah, monster dies too quickly, is basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah. The brains die. I don't really want to spend a key, nor do I have one to spend, and of course the blue flies take care of it. I'm getting so many Spirit Hearts. Then I go just quick play one play on the blood bank, because if you play twice actually with the Polaroid proccing, it'll give you your full heart back and then take away one of your Spirit Hearts, which is really silly in my opinion. like ultra silly, and that makes me really mad. But yeah, we do move out of there. The laser literally instantly dies from the laser. I mean, yeah, the blue fly. The laser dies instantly from the blue fly. I'm like so confident at this point that I don't need bombs. I just like, you know, whatever. Mom's halfway done. She's only spawned 2 waves of enemies. There's the third one. She goes full-time bombs. She finally spawns those nasty laser bullet flies. And I just head up to the cathedral. I've got my Emperor card from earlier. I don't know what that's from, actually. But I do pop it because I don't really want to deal with Curse of Darkness. We do fairly well against Isaac. You know, we don't have a halo of flies, so there's definitely a lot higher chance of taking damage. As you'll see in a couple seconds, I take damage right there. And then I just go ham on him because I remembered that I had Poison Touch. Back away just in time. He finally gets into the flying stage where he doesn't fire back at me, which makes the fight substantially easier, but the angel fetuses are extremely annoying. But luckily I do have technology, so that's like infinitely piercing shots. I nearly take damage against one of them, and then at the end of the fight, we do fairly well, don't take any damage. Unfortunately, I don't have any keys at this point. And for some reason I think that possibly going straight down would be a good idea. Unfortunately I take damage right there, so there goes Chest Boy for this episode. But, you know, I'm thinking, whatever, I did fairly well, I'd say. Especially I think I had a damageless womb, or nearly damageless if it weren't for those silly bomb tosses. Which is just, it's so irritating. And of course, these next few rooms I crush, not even having to worry about damage at all. And thanks to Gecko's Tail, we get a chest, which has the dead bird, which I'm kind of like, I guess I'll take it. Super Lust gets extremely close to me. Both of them do. Every time I'm around these corners, and it makes me very scared that I'm gonna take damage, but then they both quickly die with a pill that's full health, and then I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! I literally slammed my head against the wall, not IRL. I started to kill Death first, and then I remembered from the last run, kill Pestilence first. So I killed him quickly before he started throwing any bombs, and then, you know, Death was extremely fast. I think he has much less than the actual boss fight does, but either way, he dies fairly quickly. The horse is kind of a pain, but again, also dies quickly. We make it to the boss, you know, having only fought like 3 rooms, I think. Yeah, 3 rooms. And I take damage immediately against Blue Baby, which is very discouraging. And I also don't have full rate invincibility because the silly full health pill that I had, which is just so dumb. And it couldn't have been a bad trip pill because bad trip only works when you actually have half a heart overall. It counts your spirit hearts as well, so it had to have been like a random full health pill, which is like the least useful pill I could have gotten, which is really dumb. Blue Baby goes fairly well. I don't take a whole lot of damage against him, but I do get very close, and I start to get really scared. Finally, the Polaroid procs somehow, and I have a full heart, which is really weird. No, you know what? That must have been Celtic Cross. And we beat him. We beat the chest. Yeah, unfortunately, this Chest Boy episode did not go as well as I thought it could have been, but, you know, we did get sort of a unique combination of items. Technology Wiggle Worm is definitely really cool and possibly OP, or broken, maybe even. But we did get the pentagram. Started off as Judas, you know, we had the Book of Belial and the Mark, so that was fairly high damage, I'd say. Tier rate was a little high for damage taken, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.